Hey, how's it going, everybody here? It's Chris here with Fantastic Reviews, and I thought, you know what? It's March. We're almost at 50 subscribers here on the channel, and I hope we can make it to that. And I figured I really haven't really explained myself to my viewers and the type of movies I have and like my collection. So I thought, after doing a Blu-ray hunt video, I got some time this week. I'm gonna just go ahead and give them a tour of my entire Blu-ray collection. The opening sequence, you saw a little bit of my roommate Seth's collection, and then at the end, you kind of saw the beginning of what my collection is as well. So I'm gonna just go ahead and we're gonna go through some of the highlights in my collection, and maybe you'll find something you like, and maybe we have a discussion about it.
So as you can see, I have them alphabetized, even before I have the numbers first. Obviously, Alien, we've highlighted this movie on the channel before. I used to have Aliens, kind of just like Alien Resurrection and 3 here, but I opted to buy the Anniversary Collection as well to uniform it with Alien. It's probably one of my all-time favorite franchises, even though this one's not great. But not great, it's just disappointing. I also have Prometheus that's down with the Pete. I should probably bring it up, but we'll see. There's Amelie, which was a recent pickup. Obviously, you gotta have some 70s films with Annie Hall winning Best Picture in 77, and The Apartment, Billy Wilder's Best Picture winner in 1960. There's Argo. Big anime fan here, not as big as my friend Nick and maybe Seth, but I love my anime. These are the live-action adaptations of Attack on Titan with movies part 1 and 2. These things, for some reason, are incredibly expensive. I got them at Family Video for $2 a piece, and they're okay. They're kind of crazy violent too. I woke up at night watching the first one, and it freaked me out when I saw the image on my TV and the shrieking of the Titans. If you like anime, I definitely would let me know in the comments below. Maybe we can have discussion. But so we have those two. I can get them back in there. Found this bad boy at a pawn shop. It was only $2. The guy didn't know what he was selling, I guess, which is the Blu-ray version. I have seen it on 4K, and I think the 4K is amazing, so kind of wish I upgraded on that one. Nonetheless, Batman animated films. Mask of the Phantasm is a must-have if you love Batman. This movie's amazing. And then I picked this up at a local shop, used for $10. It's the Batman Returns graphic novel turned to movie. It was a part 1 and part 2, but this is the deluxe edition that has them both together as one. Very looking forward to checking this one out. Yes, Batman vs Superman. I do like this movie a lot. P.T.S. Anderson right here with Boogie Nights. This movie's awesome. It's kind of dark. One of his earlier works, and I definitely recommend Boogie Nazi if you haven't seen it before. Sapphire Collection. Right here, not very expensive when I picked it up. I love Gladiator, and I enjoy Saving Private Ryan. Braveheart, I need to revisit. I'm just kind of intimidated, but one of these days I will. Call Me By Your Name, haven't seen it yet. Seth loves it. I found it at a shop. I talked the pawn shop owner to $4 for it. Really need to check it out. I know Nathan, who's been on this channel, my roommate Seth, just absolutely think this movie should have won Best Picture. Well, I need to watch it so I can either disagree or agree. City of God we've highlighted right here. Oops, Cold Mountain. My goodness, this is one of my. It might be one of my all-time favorite movies, just because the love story I love it's set in the Civil War. I'm a history buff kind of guy. It's a grand spectacle. Renee Zellweger is awesome in this movie. It's so authentic, and it's kind of like just sometimes a hard watch, but not really. It's just kind of really long. But I think this movie is absolutely amazing. I just want to watch it and cry at the end, like I always do when I watch it. Not Coraline, right here. Dante's Inferno, another animated film. Love the video game. If you're a gamer, I would definitely highlight Dante's Inferno. Seth and I watched this. I showed it to him finally, and he thought it was really interesting. What I didn't know when I first watched it when I was in my teenage years, there's different animators that worked on this movie. So the movie, Dante's image changes in the kind of the graphics do too, because it's different animators. Didn't know that before, but I'm glad I own the movie. One of the highlights of the collection right here is my Dawn of the Dead Blu-ray. I only paid $3 for it at FYE near Kansas City, and it's legit. Popped it in, and it's really great. This movie is awesome. It's epic. Very hard to find. I think I'm gonna hang on to it just because I don't know when I'll ever own the movie again on Blu-ray. So very excited for that. Interesting movie I want to highlight, Detachment with Adrian Brody. Has to do with being an educator. He's a substitute, very similar to myself, and he delivers a great performance. But it's just such a depressing movie, and it's a very hard watch movie. Surprised Bryan Cranston's in it, James Caan and Christina Hendricks. Movie's just hard. It's very hard, very indie too. Dog Day Afternoon, one of my all-time favorite 70s movies right here. Nominated for Best Picture in 74, I believe. Let's see if we can highlight it. 75, sorry. But it was included for Best Picture. Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee. Very great movie. DBZ Resurrection F, very disappointing Dragon Ball Z movie. But if you see Broly, like I did in theaters with Seth and a few of my friends, oh man, once that movie comes out, I'm gonna have to add it next to this one. And I also do need Battle of the Gods. I know. Yes, failure to launch. Guilty pleasure movie. It's not great at all. Just enjoy it though. Can't really explain why. Bradley Cooper's in it, but not as Jackson Maine. He has a very high pitched voice. So now we're down to the second shelf. As you can see, this is a 3-shelf Blu-ray set. So it holds on 3 different sections. So let's start with the second one right here. Let's start with Good Will Hunting. Man, this is a damn near perfect movie. I highlighted it in my top 5 Oscar-nominated movies. This movie should have won in 1997 against Titanic. But I love Titanic so much I can't really decide. But Good Will Hunting, if you haven't seen it and you want to see a perfect movie that gives you the feels and still holds true to today in amazing acting, check this movie out. Jump for Prefer Blondes. Love this movie. Oh, Howard Hawks. Dynamite. Love Marilyn Monroe in this movie. Jane Russell, she's a knockout as well in this movie with her singing and dancing. Marilyn Monroe is just goofy in this movie, and I love it. And it gives that iconic that iconic song of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, and I love that scene. Halloween, can't be a horror movie fan without having this movie. This is the 35th anniversary edition. I don't know if that really means much other than there's some more bonus features aside from the regular Blu-ray of this. There's also 4K, so I checked that out. This must be just a Rob Zombie section right here. I just realized. Halloween 1 and 2, double feature pack. I paid like $2 for it. I actually like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. I don't understand why people think these things suck. I think it's art and his interpretation, especially with Halloween 2. Very different movie. Halloween 1 is just a different take on the old story, and you gotta applaud that. He's trying to do his own. I mean, what's the point of making a Halloween movie if it's just gonna be the exact same thing as the original? This is Rob Zombie. We as a horror movie community know who he is, and he takes his own spin on it while also paying respects. I don't see what's so hard about enjoying and appreciating that. I think also what I love about these with Rob Zombie is his influences by Wes Craven and Tobe Hooper are evident in almost every movie he makes, and I love that so much. I just hate how it's the theatrical versions. I didn't see that when I bought them. Oh well. And then The Haunted World of El Super Beasto, Rob Zombie's animated take on a graphic novel. I think he even worked on himself. Incredibly vulgar, adulterating. Oh man, this movie's it's nuts. Just nuts. I don't know if I would check this movie out or not, unless you're by yourself. Hellboy 1 and 2, need to check those out before the new movie. Yes. I bought these two, highlighted them in Nathan's channel. I grew up watching, I sound like Stuckman, but I did really grow up watching these animated Lord of the Ring movies, and The Hobbit included. There's no Blu-ray for it, just DVD. But there was a Blu-ray for the animated classic by Ralph Bakshi. Need to rewatch these soon. I know they probably don't hold up as much, but I just love them and they're nostalgic and they're a part of my movie history. So, gotta have them. Wish I had Return of the King though, but that one's kind of expensive. So I need to get that at some point. Let's see if we can put it back in there. Let's talk about Ironclad, guilty pleasure movie with Paul Giamatti.
Giamatti, excuse me, Kate Mara, and Brian freaking Cox. Are you kidding me? This movie's awesome. It is like B Sword and Sands action. Not very good, but I just love it. It's just a fun time, and it's incredibly gory. I got it. This is the French version, I think, and or no, it's Canadian. Yeah, this is just a guilty pleasure movie. I would definitely check it out. I think it's on Netflix too. I would check it out if you want to see some violence and see Brian Cox, who I love. Jackie Brown, all-time favorite Tarantino movie, was one of my later watches, and it blew me away. I know this seems to be like a harder watch because just, I don't know, people just haven't seen this movie as much, I feel like, when you think of Tarantino movies. And I definitely say probably has the best romance of any of his movies, some of the best acting. I know Samuel L. Jackson is a 100% a bona fide superstar in this movie. He just steals the show. Pam Grier's obviously great, and Robert De Niro's crazy. But yeah, check out Jackie Brown. Awesome movie. Jennifer's Body. Need to recheck this movie out. It's been getting a lot of buzz about how good it actually was. I don't remember very much of it, but I can't wait to check it out. One of my favorite Christmas movies. Let's talk about Kramer vs. Kramer, 1979 Best Picture winner. This movie is great. It's maybe one of my favorite 70s movies as well. Dustin Hoffman, who I absolutely love as an actor, becomes a single father once Meryl Streep leaves, and then she comes back to fight for custody. Check this movie out. It's kind of a harder find. I was surprised how hard it was to find this movie, even though it's a Best Picture winner. Really cool alternate cover for King Kong by Peter Jackson. If you don't know about Kung Pao, I think Nathan and I are gonna talk about this movie soon. It's a DVD, I know. Had shaking cam there. But Kung Pao, super funny and stupid. Gotta watch it again if you haven't. Found the Lobster in Arkansas finally. Owned this movie by Yorgos Lanthimos. Colin Farrell's amazing in this movie, as is Rachel Weisz. Really different, very black comedy, but I still love it. Already talked about Long Goodbye. Another Rob Zombie, Lords of Salem. Obviously, we see The Lost Weekend here. The Master might be my favorite P.T. Anderson film after a second rewatch earlier last year. More than just a Scientology movie, folks. Check this movie out if you haven't yet. Mean Streets, Scorsese. Definitely a good movie. It's got some rough spots with Harvey Keitel, but you definitely see how it influenced the rest of Martin Scorsese's filmography. Midnight in Paris. Let's see here. Yes, My Bloody Valentine. I actually owned this movie twice at one point. But I found this one at our Entertain Mart. It was only $5, and you know I had to pick it up. The second one I found was at a pawn shop, and that was another $4 there. So this movie is awesome. It is a damn good horror movie. If you somehow get a chance to watch it or stream it, please do. This movie's very hard to find, but it's so good. It's so creepy. It's kind of one of my prouder owning movies. Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2 and 3. Actually, I'll put in the light here. He's Inside Me, is what it's autographed as. That's by Mark Patton, who actually played Jesse, the star of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I met him at a film convention, not a film convention, but like a horror movie marathon like 2 years ago in the summer, and I got to meet him. And this is actually my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street, which is Part 2. It's not one of the best for sure, but it's like my favorite, and he autographed it. Really great guy. Down to the third row. Okay, so here we go. I found Prometheus Hiding. Bought it new back on like 2 years ago on Black Friday. It's a 3-film set. Cool alternate cover art for Psycho I found at a Dollar General. I need to rewatch that movie ASAP. The Road. Let's talk about The Road. Viggo Mortensen gives probably one of his best performances ever in this really sad and dark movie. Kind of reminds you of The Last of Us if you play video games. The Road, just an amazing movie. Charlize Theron's also in there as the mother. Edgar Wright, Scott Pilgrim, awesome movie. Let's talk about singles. Cameron Crowe, 1990s rom-com.
with a lot of grunge and taking place in Seattle. Bridget Fonda and Matt Dillon star, and Campbell Scott. Oh my goodness, this movie's awesome. And the soundtrack is amazing too. It has one of my favorite scores or songs by Chris Cornell called Seasons. So check that song out if you can. Love my Superman movies. Christopher Reeves, can't really see there, but we have, yes, The Quest for Peace, Superman 3, and then the first two, the Richard Donner cut, and then Superman Returns. So, Tango Cash, awesome buddy cop movie. Check that out. And one of my favorite movies from 1990 is the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. These movies fell, but let's highlight like one or two of them. Let's talk about Thumbsucker on DVD. Super indie movie that has Lou Pucci delivering an awesome performance as a kid with those. I think it's ADHD. Keanu Reeves is his dentist. Super indie, awesome movie. Might highlight it soon in another video. Let me know if you've seen Thumbsucker. True Romance was a recent pickup I found. It was only $10. Didn't know this was a harder movie to find, but I remember seeing this movie as a kind of like a teenager. It was on VHS. My parents had it, so I need to rewatch it again. I remember really liking it too. Okay, so that's just kind of like right behind me, my first bookshelf of Blu-ray movies. So we're gonna actually go upstairs so we can see more of my blues. Let's go. Also, there's Jonesy. Say hi. Oh, she's mad. She's mad. So we're going up the stairs here. Door's already open. And here's my bedroom. There's my bed. There's some Blu-rays there. I'll go into detail on what's going on there. There's Blu-rays there too. And then there's another one of my shelves. Uh-oh. And then, yeah, just not a 4K TV. Really bummed out about that. Okay, so let's talk about some of the Blu-rays here. So I actually moved these from downstairs to up to this shelf because they all have slip covers. And I really like slip covers, so I want to make sure that, you know, they're all uniform there. So let's go through a few of them. Brawl in Cell Block 99. Haven't seen this movie yet, but my friend Daniel says it's awesome. And it kicks ass. It's so gritty. So I need to check this movie out really soon. One of my favorite movies of last year, Bo Burnham's 8th Grade. Such an amazing movie. It should have been at the Oscars, but it wasn't. But Elsie Fisher was. For the gamer in me again, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Awesome movie. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, you already know what I'm talking about. Picked up all three of the Rambo 4K movies at the Black Friday sale. They were like $7 a piece. I need to rewatch Rambo. I used to love it as a kid. My favorite Studio Ghibli film, From Up on Poppy Hill. Man, this movie is awesome. I just really enjoy the music and the kind of like the story of it all. It's not by Hayao Miyazaki. I know it was written by him, but it was actually by his son Goro. Of course, Garfield. No collection's complete without this on Blu-ray. Get Out, obviously. Let's see. I already talked about Lady Bird, La La Land, Lincoln. Oh, yes, all three Lord of the Rings films on an extended editions. Yeah, these movies are perfect. As simple as that. Love, Simon. I haven't talked about this movie much on my channel, but my buddy Seth showed it to me, and I damn love this movie so much. Really great story, comical, has some movie references in there too, and some soccer, so what's not to like? It's just a really great movie. If you haven't seen Love, Simon from last year, please do. It made my top 10 of the year. Just a really great movie. Let's see if we can get it back in there. More Miyazaki with My Neighbor Totoro. Old Man and the Gun. Where was this movie at the Oscars? It definitely deserved Robert Redford Oscar nom, especially since he's retired. I saw it in theaters with Nathan, and it was such a good time. Such a great movie. Just simple as that. Just a great movie. Phantom Thread. One of my favorite movies by PT as well. Just a dark movie. It takes you on turns you just did not suspect.
And I knew Paul Thomas Anderson made this movie for me because it came out April 10th of 2017, and that's my birthday. Not that year, but the day. So I knew he made this for me. Thank you, Paul. Platoon we highlighted. The Revenant. Need to rewatch this movie. Picked it up at a pawn shop. Really kind of a cool edition. You open it up. Kind of has like an inside that has Velcro. Kind of cool. Need to rewatch it. And then down here we have the Rudolph movies. Spirit. Need to watch this again. As a kid, I loved Spirit. So, Stallion of the Cimarron. Need to check this out again. We got Thor Ragnarok. 3 Billboards. The Witch. And obviously Titanic. So let's go over to the next shelf. Now that you see my slipcover shelf. Okay, so here at this shelf, there's not much on it except just Disney movies. I just do not want to spend a lot of money on Disney movies because, one, I can't stand how the company charges so much for them. So I went on a plight to like only buy secondhand Disney movies, and I did, and I actually completed it very quickly, and it didn't cost me as much as buying them new. I actually found a lot of Facebook Marketplace sellers who were selling them on the cheap for me, and then I found a few during like buy two get one free sales at Entertain Mart. But we have Aladdin. I only paid $8 for this movie. Let's see if we can get it out. There's Aladdin with the slipcover, brand new basically, for $8. My all-time favorite Disney movie, The Aristocats, is right here. Love Paris, Jazz, Kittens. What's not to like? We got Bambi, Beauty and the Beast, which was actually the first of the collection here for me. Cinderella, only paid $8 for this one too. Really great condition. Dinosaur, this movie existed. No, you weren't dreaming. It's actually kind of dark at points too. Do you remember the McDonald's toys where you had like the hand puppets and it was just like the dinosaurs? I do. I remember. Dumbo, can't wait for the live action movie. Can't wait to rewatch this before that. Great Mouse Detective, underrated Disney movie. I had a lot of fun with this movie. It's basically kind of like Sherlock Holmes with mice. Really fun movie. Perfection. Hercules. I was surprised to find this movie for only $12. Been wanting to watch it again, especially with playing Kingdom Hearts 3. So looking forward to that. Jungle Book, only paid $8 for it. And the seller on Facebook also threw the Jungle Book 2 for free with it too. Yeah, for free. So that made it very easy for me. My girlfriend Annie, she got me Lady and the Tramp for Christmas. So this is one of another Disney movie that I grew up watching and absolutely loved. A Disney movie I just loved, you know. Lion King, a cool edition. Little Mermaid, only paid $8 for that as well. Mary Poppins, this was a Valentine's gift. Haven't watched it or opened it yet by my girlfriend Annie, so can't wait to watch it. Mulan. Nightmare Before Christmas, or Hot Topic movie. Pinocchio. Pocahontas. Ratatouille, favorite Pixar movie right here. Used to love this movie as a kid, Robin Hood. Picked that up for $8 as well. Snow White, highlighted when I picked that up. Sword in the Stone, I only paid $3 back home for this movie. I actually really enjoy it. Tangled, that was only $4. And Tarzan. Yeah, I know David Harrington's probably like, whoa, good stuff. And I'll post a link to his Instagram down below too, but he has an amazing Disney collection too. And he kind of inspired me because I grew up watching a lot of these Disney movies, but never had a means of watching them. And I know Disney has that streaming service coming out soon that I know I'm not going to subscribe to. But these are going to be for my enjoyment and for my kids for the future. And I won't ever have to subscribe because I have them all here, owned, secondhand. So there you are. It can be done, folks. You don't have to buy them new from Disney. Okay, so we're here at the final shelf. At the top of it, obviously, you see the Bergman set. Got my Queen Alien pop figure. My Alamo Film Club notes. I've only been to one so far. I know I should have been going to more. But it was when I went to see Midnight and Cowboy, and I took some notes with it, too. Very much looking forward to going again. She's been keeping it safe for me. Possession, I found this on one of my Facebook groups from a seller. He sold it to me for only $18. Very incredible deal. This movie is like freaking nuts. I should probably censor it a little bit. But yeah, Possession, awesome, crazy movie. And then you have the X-Files collection right there.
including the event series that was added to it. But from a farther perspective, here it is. Come down. And then there you go. So right here, the first shelf is obviously my Criterions. We have Seventh Samurai here and Silence of the Lamb. Videodrome, an amazing, crazy movie by Cronenberg. Eyes Without a Face, I just highlighted this on my letterbox. This movie is awesome, 1960 during that French New Wave. Horror movie. Very shocking, it made my skin crawl at points. A very great movie, I would definitely recommend. Jean-Luc Godard in Breathless, right here. Nothing was the same after this movie came out, according to the back of the movie. Jean-Luc Godard and Francis Truffaut obviously kicked off the New Wave movement. This came out in 1960 as well, same year as Eyes Without a Face. But 1959, I would say Francis Truffaut started it with the 400 Blows. My favorite Criterion release ever in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Luckily, I have a slipcover. I had to beg the person at Family Video to let me have it. Thank you, Nathan Jones, for this gift. This movie is amazing. I was actually really surprised at how well this My Dinner with Andre film was. Definitely elegant talking movie I would check out if you can. I think I've highlighted most of these Criterion movies. Although I did get this for Christmas, Watership Down. Thank you, my roommate Seth, if you're watching. This movie kind of terrified me in a way. I haven't seen the Netflix live action, nor do I think I will, because this movie is a dynamite film. Maybe my favorite Coen Brothers film in a recent pickup, Inside Llewyn Davis. I picked this up on eBay for 15 bucks. There's Jonesy in the middle of the cover. But this is a great movie, seriously. It's just an amazing movie. I think you can watch it on Amazon Prime. Just a sad and honest portrayal of what it meant to be a kind of like an aspiring folk singer before Bob Dylan came around, with Oscar Isaac giving an amazing performance. We've talked about Squid and the Whale. Blow Up. Kind of disappointed with Michelangelo's Antonioni's Blow Up. Just didn't really connect with it much. Got this for Christmas by 80s Family, The Philadelphia Story. I kind of started watching it and I kind of turned it off. I really need to recheck it and finish it before I have an actual opinion on it. Recent pickup. My friend Nathan got me this, The Magnificent Ambersons by Orson Welles. We struck a deal. Very interested in seeing this movie. I've heard a lot about it, and it's actually piqued my interest, especially when I found out there was two different versions with Orson Welles original and then the RKO Studio Edition that's not as great. So really need to check this movie out. I was also nominated for Best Picture too in 1942. Thank you, my Aunt Tanya from Chicago. She got me this for Christmas. The Jacques Demy box set. I haven't even opened it yet. I'm waiting for maybe this. Shoot, man, maybe this break is my time to watch all 6 films, because they're actually shared in the same universe, if I read correctly. I know the Umbrellas of Schoenberg is its most popular, but I kind of want to watch them from the beginning to the end. Stay tuned, maybe I will. And then the Trilogia de Guillermo del Toro, Best Director in 2017 for Shape of Water, and he's just an all-around great guy. Got Kronos, The Devil's Backbone, and Nathan's favorite, Pan's Labyrinth. This is one of my first Criterion box set pickups. I only paid 30 bucks for it on eBay. I had to do some tape jobs on it, but definitely worth the price, and it's a gorgeous release. So, thank you, eBay. Ooh. So the next shelf here is my kind of like my boutique label horror shelf. So I have my Arrows here. My favorite Arrow release, and there they go. One of my all-time favorite horror movies, Blood Rage. Oh my goodness, this movie is awesome. It's a Thanksgiving Day horror movie. Like what? 1985, I believe. No, 1983 is when it came out. But Blood Rage, awesome movie. It's not cranberry sauce. Never think it is, because it's probably blood. Speaking of blood, let's fix that. Let's talk about Driller Killer. Oof, this movie on Steelbook. I only paid $5 for it back home. Man, I cannot finish this movie. I can't even get to the good stuff. It's a 1960s, I believe, or it might be no, I think it might be a 1970s horror movie. I'm gonna just put it back and talk about it just because my younger audiences probably shouldn't be watching this movie. But it's very loud and it's a little slow at points. But I hear it got a newer release on Arrow too, but that's the Steelbook I found. Hills Have Eyes, Wes Craven. Recently rewatched it during the October season, and I forgot how funny and scary this movie is at the same time. Gore just released by Arrow. I only paid like $18 for it on eBay, so I was really happy with that. I think everyone's starting to realize I get most of my stuff on eBay. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, sorry, these movies would not cooperate, but we have The Initiation here, an awesome 80s horror movie about a sorority dare, basically, in the mall. And yeah, it's just really fun movie. I was very surprised. It was a blind buy, and my friend Daniel and I watched it, and we both loved it. Jack Hill's Pit Stop. Awesome movie with Sid Haig. Really dark ending at the end. It's about racing and, like, you know, crashing into each other and trying to make it to the top. Really great movie with an awesome score. It's in black and white. He also made Spider Baby, which I haven't seen yet, but I would definitely check it out. Reanimator. I paid a really cheap price for this recent Arrow release. If you haven't seen Reanimator, excuse me, you're really missing out. This is almost quintessential horror right here. Really great stuff. And then finally, Vamp. I only got because of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, there's a character named Grady, and the actor who plays him is in this movie. His name is Robert Russler, I believe. But yeah, he's in this movie. It's definitely reminiscent of From Dawn Till Dusk. It's a really slower vampire 80s movie. Really fun, though. A lot of fun. I would definitely check out Vamp if you can. I would stream it first before buying the movie itself. Oh no! Ellen Ripley fell. There she is. Also, I love how I have Wallace next to her, too, from Alien Covenant. But here are my Scream factories. So, we have Assault on Precinct 13, Escape from New York, Snake Plissken, probably one of the coolest movie protagonists ever. The Fog, just an amazing movie. I know my girlfriend Annie loves it. Halloween 2 and 3. Oh man, these movies blow my mind. I only got Halloween brand new when it first, not when it first came out, but like it was like bought brand new from me, and then Halloween 2 I found secondhand for like $10. I was really happy about that. Mad Max, not the biggest fan of it. Need to rewatch it. Manhunter, got it as a Christmas present back in my fraternity. Michael Manns has directed this movie. Manhunter with Brian Cox, good movie. Kind of like I don't see much people talk about this movie, but Prison, starring Viggo Mortensen. Okay, horror movie, not really much to write home about, but it has Viggo, who I love. So I definitely had to pick it up. It was fine. I'm glad I own it, but not too much else for it. Return of the Living Dead. We have The Sentinel. All 3 sleepaway camp movies. If you haven't seen them, oh man, at least watch the first one just for the plot twist at the end. They Live and Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat was a recent release. Really great anthology horror. But yeah, that's it for my horror boutique labels. Let's move down some more. Okay, so what I have here is my shelf dedicated to all digibooks. Anything that's kind of, you know, you open it up and there's like little like documents and notes in here. Those are digibooks. They're I really like them. I like the aesthetic of them. They're really neat. There's a lot of interesting releases with them, such as like All About Eve. I love the production notes on that. The Big Lebowski was a recent purchase. I only paid $4 for this. Thank you, Pawn Shop. My Blade Runner 30th Anniversary Edition, I paid $10 to $12. I can't remember on that. I had to rebuy it because I already had the regular Blu-ray. Underrated filmmaker, in my opinion, Neil Blomkamp and his 3-film set. District 9 was a Best Picture nominated film. Chappie's entertaining.
in Elysium is just crazy. He has a YouTube channel. I think I might put a link on it in the description. I want him to make the next Alien movie, personally. There you go, Neil Blomkamp. I just love his aesthetic in his movies. And on YouTube, he has Sigourney Weaver on one of his short films on there too, so I would definitely check that out. But yeah, really love this collection. The Bridge on the River Kwai, Best Picture winner in 1957, which was an amazing year for films. You had The Bridge on the River Kwai, 12 Angry Men, Seventh Seal, I believe, and Smiles of a Summer Night from Ingmar Bergman. So this was an amazing year for movies all around. But Bridge on the River Kwai, iconic film. I got into this cool Digibook collector set. Exorcist, amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, it's essential horror. I feel like everyone's seen this movie though. Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I'm from Chicago. Bill Murray's my guy. So obviously this is a classic. This is 1 and 2. Recent watch of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Man, this movie's a knockout. Just all around an amazing movie, and it speaks to the time and even some stuff about today too. So definitely check that out. Perfection. I honestly believe these movies get pooped on way too much for no reason. I think these movies are better than all the MCU movies, in my opinion. There's just so much heart to them, and the acting is just superb. Yeah, I mean, Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3, I think it's played for jokes. I think it's supposed to be kind of funny. Also, if you're invested in the character, you can look past that stuff. I feel like this is a movie that just gets pooped on because it's... I don't know, I feel like people haven't rewatched these movies. Honestly, the first 2 movies are 10 out of 10s. I personally love the first one more just because I watched it more as a kid. But Spider-Man 2 is also a perfect movie with Alfred Molina's. Dr. Octavius is awesome. The villains are just so fledged out in these movies. But it's also about Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire is the best Peter Parker, I think, on screen ever. His Spider-Man, it just so much weight to everything he does, and he just really captures who he is. And I got it in this 3-pack Digibook set. I got it used. Man, I just want to watch him right now. Streetcar Named Desire. Elliot Kazan, obviously, who did On the Waterfront and Gentleman's Agreement as well. A Streetcar Named Desire with, I can't even think right now, Marlon Brando. Gives a terrifying performance of this classic play turned movie. I got it in a Digibook for $15. A little pricey, but man, been really wanting to rewatch this movie again. We've already talked about Taxi Driver, but this was going to give me a chance to highlight my recent pickup. I found it at Target for only $15. I had to ask the lady to look in the back, and she found the collector's edition of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This thing is a mammoth. I don't know, but Walmart's been like putting these things out again. And this one was all sold out. I just saw the SKU, and I asked her to scan it so she can find one in the back, and she did. And she came out with it. And really wanted to watch this 1975 Best Picture winner because I grew up watching it as a teenager very often because of Nurse Ratchet's character just really drew to me. And I was like always so fascinated with Jack Nicholson's character. Danny DeVito's in this movie as well. If you haven't checked it out, Spike Spiegel, if you ask him, he might let you borrow it. So on to the next shelf. This next shelf is dedicated to all my Steelbooks. As you can see, Aaron Yeager is guarding them all. But we have Drive, Evil Within, this Mondo... But I just really want to highlight Ghost in the Shell. This is a Mondo cover Steelbook I found at Walmart. Not super rare, I don't think, but man, this movie is amazing, and I love this put out of it. My favorite anime all time, Ghost in the Shell. I even love the live action remake I have on 4K. This movie is awesome. Just check it out. Seriously, if you haven't seen it yet. All right, but back to these Steelbooks. It Follows. Don't you dare fall on me. But It Follows. I love this edition right here. I found it at a pawn shop. Such a great movie. As you can see, there's Captain Marvel there. Very surprised with It Follows and how much of a punch it packs. Really great movie. Builds atmosphere. I would definitely check it out. Man of Steel Steelbook, ironic. The Mummy, very cool. I rewatched it last summer and had a great time with it. Perfection in a Steelbook, all 3 Pokemon movies. The new recent Predator movie, just kind of highlighting that. The Shining on Steelbook. This is awesome. This Best Buy exclusive Whiplash Steelbook, so awesome, amazing movie. and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Steelbook. I luckily found it. I didn't even was looking for it, but there it was at Best Buy. Had to pick it up. Toby Hooper was immortalized with this movie, and it is damn good. It's terrifying. It also doesn't have as much horror, not violence, but blood and gore as you would think. It's a misconception. It's actually like really well edited, so it doesn't have as much as you would think. The imagery is very terrifying nonetheless, though. Let's go down to that final shelf. All right, final shelf here. We got a lot. These are like my collection box sets. So like right here we have my Sports 30 for 30. We have Cowboy Bebop, the complete series, amazing anime. The Dark Knight box set, which I highlighted. My Frankenstein Legacy collection. I've been wanting to rewatch these lately, but we'll talk about that in a little bit later. The Friday the 13th 8-movie collection. It doesn't have Jason Takes Manhattan or Jason X, but I got this for like $17, which is actually cheaper than what you'll find anywhere else, apparently. Still really bummed out it wasn't a complete box set, but I understand with licensing that wasn't ever going to be a possibility. The Mission Impossible collection. Still need to get through it all before I even see Fallout. I know, I haven't seen Fallout yet. RoboCop trilogy. Been told I need to really check these movies out. Haven't. The Undisputed collection of Rocky, all the way to Rocky Balboa. And yes, I already own Creed, and I just need Creed 2, which I think has just recently been released. My Essentials Holiday collection. Picked this up for $4 at a pawn shop. Pretty happy with that. Really need to rewatch a few of these, like Polar Express, especially Christmas on Vacation, during the next holiday season. And of course I had to put it next to quintessential holiday movies in the Santa Claus box set. My girlfriend Annie got for me like 2 years ago. Well, not 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, excuse me. A pickup I made back home. I really like Jigsaw, but the Saw movies I really haven't gotten into. So I kind of got this thing at a cheaper price than what was... I thought it was rare, but it kind of isn't. But I found it at a cheap price. I paid about $15, I think, for it, for all of them, including Jigsaw, which actually made my top 10 of 2017, just because it really surprised me, and it was pretty well made, in my opinion. So I need to check these out at some point. I don't know if I have the stomach for them. The Scream film set doesn't have Scream 4, but it has the first 3. These movies, this is a really great trilogy, actually. When you think about the grand scheme of trilogies, this movie might be up there as one of the best as well. Next we have my Star Wars. So we start with Rogue One here. My Target exclusive Solo 4K, actually. This movie is dynamite. I love Solo. It might be one of my favorite recent Star Wars release movies. The fact that I got it here in this really great, gorgeous box set, I was pretty happy with it. Maybe I'll do a highlight video on this one just because it's a really cool edition from Target. I think I've highlighted my complete saga for Star Wars and my Steelbooks for The Force Awakens and the awesome, yes, awesome Last Jedi Steelbook. So speaking earlier about Frankenstein, picked this up at Best Buy for $40. This is the Alex Ross cover box set of the Universal Classic Monsters movies. It's not the Legacy editions, it's just the original 8 movies. So I really need to check them out at some point. This is a very gorgeous release as well. And there you go. Then my last 2 box sets are my double feature X-File movies. The first one, Fight the Future, I remember watching a lot as a kid. I want to believe was kind of a letdown, but that's how it is sometimes. And then finally, the 3-film set of the original X-Men movies. I love these movies so much. Last Stand is probably one of my favorites, even though it's probably one of the worst. It's just so fun and it's comic booky. It's kind of sad that the universe is finally going to come to an end because Disney bought the X-Men, so now we have Dark Phoenix coming out. So I'm going to go see that, and just to pay homage to these original universes. So yeah, that's it for this shelf. There it goes. Okay, so it's been a very long video, but I just wanted to show all of you who subscribed and are checking out this channel for the first time to take a look at kind of what I have in my collection. I have a few gems, I think, and I think it's steadily growing. I started collecting Oh, years and years ago. I would say back in like 2015, I would say I started seriously collecting them. And then from 2016 on, it just was a full takeover where I started just selling all my DVDs and upgrading them to Blu-ray. But like different editions and stuff like that, I've had to upgrade through the year or so. But yeah, hopefully this video let you know a little bit more about me and who I am. I really enjoy this channel and like talking about movies and like showing off some of the stuff I have, and then going to my friend Nathan's channel as well and talking about movies. We recently finished a Bergman type of video for those who've been checking it out, so I would definitely click over to that once it comes out. I'll put a link of his channel down below. Other than that, this has been Chris with the Hertastic Reviews. It's been also with Jonesy here. Say hi, Jonesy. But thank you all for the support. It's been a fun video, and I'm actually, didn't mind talking about movies at all today during this afternoon. Let me know what kind of videos, not videos, but Blu-rays you have down below in the description. Maybe some things you saw that you are thinking about picking up and you need a suggestion. I can maybe help you with that. Just let me know down below. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, maybe your family. My name's Chris here again. I'm signing off. Thank you all for watching.